This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to Top of the Morning right here on the Urban Conservative. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Got yourself some coffee, got your little mug going, all that good stuff. This is Raheem Architect Soto with my twin brother, Abdul Ali. As usual, it is time for the best 30-minute morning show on the internet. Head over to tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership. That Hamilton plan is popping. Gonna head over here to the website, you know what I mean, and do your little clicks and your head over here. Where is it at, bro? I know we got some mugs up here. Where the mugs at? Yeah, right there. You get yourself a
mug.
Yeah, you need a mug. You need a Urban Conservative t-shirt. You need all that good stuff. Shouts out to all of our underwriters, our sponsors, and as you file on in, let us know where you're watching from so we can give you a shout out. And I have to remind y'all, make sure you head over to TUC Twins on Facebook. That is our alternate Facebook page, and TUC Twins on YouTube. In the unfortunate event that you go look for us and poof, like our other YouTube page is gone, you can always make sure to go to TUC Twins. That's the backup page. What's good, bro? Top of the morning.
Top of the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope all is well. Everything is good, bro. I got to give a major shout out to our RNC committee woman, Keisha Brassington, who is with me and us, I should say, for the Union County Republican Luncheon. It was a great event. She gave us some updates about what's happening with the RNC. I got to have some great conversation with some folks out there. So shouts out to her. Shouts out to Vivian for coming out, supporting and showing some love out there.
Since we're doing the shout outs, I have to shout out Congressman Nick LaLota.
Yes, you do.
He had an amazing town hall last night. I think he said at the height of the call, it was about 7,000 people on the call. So shouts out to everybody that made that town hall with Congressman Nick LaLota. It's good to hear so many people are, tapping in with their congressmen and their elected officials. But shouts out to him. I got on the call, had a question for him, and we made it out of thousands of people to get on the line, and we're able to ask the congressman a question that people were asking us, and he gave a great answer. So shouts out to him and his whole team over there, and of course our Suffolk County GOP and men's groups and all that good stuff.
Right.
So what do we start in the morning with? Can we start in New York?
Start in New York. Let's go.
All right. So I was under the impression, right, when I first said this to you, Ali, I was like,
a conversation never goes good with you when you started with I was under the impression. I just keep going.
All right. Well, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Let me share this tab, right?
Oh, no.
Let me share this tab. So this place right here, okay. This place right here is called the Horizon Juvenile Center in the Bronx, okay? And a woman who works at this Bronx Juvenile Detention Center was arrested and fired from her job on charges of having an inappropriate relationship with an 18-year-old detainee, the court records show. We'll just say the last name Robinson, who was 34, was arrested and charged with
Mm,
sexual abuse, criminal sexual act, and sexual misconduct, and
mm,
official misconduct, according to the Bronx Criminal Court. The incident highlights what employees say is going on, an ongoing crisis at the city's two juvenile detention centers. So I didn't know 18 was juvenile. That was the part I was like, wait, ain't 18 legal?
wait a minute. 18 is not legal in New York? Well, no. If you're in a juvenile detention center, you're probably still technically considered a ward of the state. No?
Well, the center houses roughly 200 young detainees and are run by ACS. And a report published in, I'm not even going to, I'll say it, the Gothamists. I can't stand them. Last month cited that the center is described as tightly protected network of workers who smuggle drugs and weapons for the teens and young adults.
Mm,
Staffers are saying the condition at the youth detention centers have declined since the state lawmakers passed the raise the age law back in 17. The law banned the practice of sending 16 and 17-year-old to adult jails like Rikers. Okay, now think about that. You get a 17-year-old that go shoot up a neighborhood or commit some heinous
now
act,
to think about it that way, yeah.
right? You don't take him to Rikers. You take him to a facility with you know. So the issue with this story is right. And I had a note here where it says, I think there was some camera. There was something caught on camera, and
Oh boy.
it's a mess. And the fact of the matter is that these policies that the Democrats have put in place, this is a side of it that doesn't get talked about, how it's affecting the young people that may legit not have a family, legit may have issues and need to be in the care of the state, as a ward of the state, if you will.
Right.
These kids don't get talked about much. And the fact of the matter is, Ali, we have a kind of an intimate working of how some of
We
these,
were that kid. I mean, let's call it what it is. We were
maybe
that
not,
kid.
maybe not that kid, because I don't
Not that
recall,
kid.
I don't recall smashing any of the staff. I don't recall that.
I
But
didn't. No, well, no, no, no. When I'm saying that kid, we're the kid that you're talking about that didn't get talked about much. These kids that are, and there's a lot of kids that are in between. That we know what that's like. Like, yo, you're not bad enough to go to jail, but you're not good enough to get adopted. When I say good, I mean behaviorally. You're not. You're too much for the average family to handle. So there's people, but this is a different sense. This is a different ball game. This is kids that done actually done something
right, and the fact of the
allegedly.
matter is, right, it doesn't make sense, right? There's a lot of evidence that there's mismanagement, if you will, to put it lightly, within the
Mm.
system here in New York. And this isn't new, because again, think about what we went through and how we went through it. Now you may find, I don't think you have the same staff people, because it's a generational issue, right? So now
Mm.
you got a bunch of woke, and if they're not woke leftists in there, then you have a group of people in there that you end up with a situation like this. Because at 34 years old, this young lady, you in there, you in a facility doing what you're doing with a young man. Like, think about that. So there's probably more to the story that wasn't put in the report. But again, we have to work on this super majority in our state assembly here in New York. And it's important, because the same people that are voting for these Democrats and support this super majority in our state house, these are the people they're protesting they're professing to want to help black and brown in the urban community, but then they do things like the raise the age law with disastrous effects. They do the bail reform, and folks keep voting for them. So I wanted to highlight that story just to shed some light on that, Ali, about what's going on in the ACS system, what's going on in our state, New York, with the caring for our youth that may need services, that don't have quote unquote families at the moment, or whatever the case may be. It's not a good look when these type of things are going on.
Not at all. Ladies and gentlemen, you are checking out Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. You're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. If you are not watching and you are listening and you want to find us on a platform that we're not on, let us know. We're going to take a quick commercial break and come right back. We're going to talk about how we are protecting women On the right, Republicans are going to work to protect women's sports. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back on Top of the Morning.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are back on Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. I'm Abdul Ali, joined by my twin brother, Raheem Architect Soto. If you haven't done so already, please remember, jump over to tuconservative.com. Grab yourself one of those Hamilton plans. Hit us with a like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Let folks know about the platform and our mission to share conservative values, principles into urban communities across this great country of ours. Now, bro, I have to tell you something, man. I am really, really proud of this person right here. And I'm going to show you who I'm talking about. See that lady in the red dress in the middle there, ladies and gentlemen? That is a good friend of ours.
Isn't there a red dress song? Why did that just pop in my head?
Lady in Red is a song, I believe.
Lady in Red.
The Lady in Red. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Okay.
Dr. Kristen Baker, the lady you see in the middle there, represents Cabarrus County in the state legislature. Okay? She is an amazing human being. She's a friend of the show, somebody I consider a friend. Shouts out to Julie Emmons, the lady in the white jacket, too. Shouts out to her. But the reason I bring Dr. Baker up is because she is one of the women who co-sponsored something that got passed in North Carolina yesterday, and that is the North Carolina Fairness in Women's Sports Act. Let me say it again. The Fairness in Women's Sports Act. Now, the other day when we were talking about this whole idea of transgender people playing in the, playing sports and all this kind of thing, the lady you see on your screen is Peyton McNabb, Hiawassee Dam High School volleyball player who got injured in a volley game on a spike by a transgender player on the other team. Okay, she was in North Carolina along with Riley Gaines, the swimmer. Now, check this out, bro. Didn't we say, I didn't know that this had happened. I didn't know who this lady was. But the idea, could you imagine how hard you have to get hit with a volleyball to be injured? Would that have ever happened if it was another female who was hitting the ball?
Maybe.
Probably not.
No, maybe. Fair enough. Maybe.
Okay, fair enough.
I gotta see if we're carrying it out here. Come on, keep going with the story.
Well, I'm not carrying it out. I'm only saying that in Wednesday's hearing at the legislature, opponents of the bill urged lawmakers to wait for those Title IX amendments from the Biden administration to govern this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Several said that while McNabb's injury was unfortunate, there are only 15 or fewer transgender athletes competing in women's sports in North Carolina.
Oh, hold on. So back up. Let's talk about the injury.
Okay.
We didn't get to that part.
It doesn't say much about the injury.
Is there a video? Is there video?
No.
I wish we had video.
What's her name? What did I say her name is? Peyton McNabb?
That's what she said.
Okay, Peyton McNabb injury. Let me see. That's the first thing that comes up. Let me see if there's any video. Nah, there's not going to be any video of that. It doesn't say what her injuries were, but she was injured. Okay?
Yeah, but I mean, how hard could you get hit in the face with a volleyball?
I mean, a volleyball, when you're spiking a volleyball, that's a pretty hard thing. Okay? Right, but the NC opponents of the bill were basically saying, wait for Biden and them to take care of this. Several said that while her injury was unfortunate, there's 15 or less transgender athletes competing in women's sports in North Carolina. This bill was a solution in search of a problem. Now, this is McNabb speaking to the Carolina Journal. They made me feel like I didn't really matter because it was just me, just one person. If it was going to happen to anyone on my team, I'd rather it happen to me instead of one of my younger cousins or my teammates, because I guess I'm the one who could take it. The Lord let it happen to me for a reason, because I feel like I could do something about it. Now, the North Carolina Senate has a companion legislation called SB 631, Fairness in Women's Sports Act, which was reported favorably out of the Senate Rules Committee on Wednesday and is on the Senate calendar for today.
Ooh, Lord.
It's on the Senate calendar for today. Now, here's what you got. The bill's sponsors were Representative Aaron Perret out of Wake County, who I know, great person. Representative Dr. Kristen Baker out of Cabarrus County, go Dr. Baker. Jennifer Balcom out of Henderson, and Representative Carl Gillespie out of Cherokee County. They invited collegiate swimmer Riley Gaines, and we all know who Riley Gaines is, to testify on behalf of the bill Tuesday morning in committee. Gaines' story.
Hold up. Do you see what's happening on the screen? This is all women playing volleyball.
Oh, you found the video?
No, I did not. This is called volleyball knockouts.
Oh, no.
And this is women playing with women. So wait a second.
Hold on. I got to make my screen big to see this. So she put the ball up.
Down.
No, that's not it. It's the spike.
No, Ali, you're not listening.
Wait.
You're not listening to what I'm saying to you. These videos have nothing to do with what you're talking about. This is women playing against other women, getting hurt, playing against women. So now
I don't understand what was happening in the shot because it's so choppy. I didn't understand what was going on.
Watch the young lady up here, okay? The lady that's at the top of the screen.
Okay, I'm looking.
Watch her, okay? All right, do you see her about to spike?
Yeah. Okay, I got you. It's choppy, but okay.
So she's woman down. This is women playing with women. I'm just gonna let it play.
That can happen to
listen. I'm gonna just let it play. This is women playing with women. Look. Oh Lord, I don't know if I could take that.
Yeah, you can stop that, bro. Stop that.
Nah. Listen, that's called volleyball knockouts. So now let's. Yo, look. Oh, there's a slow mo and face plant. Bro, so you mean to tell me you want men to do this with women? This is what you were talking about. Oh my word.
Yeah, nah.
These are some tough gals right here.
Yeah, but you can't have men.
Watch this one. Lord. Yeah. That'll give you whiplash. There's no way you can have dudes doing this. Because if a dude hits that, this is not going to go good.
Yeah, that's not going to go good at all.
Yeah, that's a man on man right there. That was man on man.
Yeah, pause. But you cannot.
But he's hurt. Yeah. Like he's hurt. Okay, so what I'm saying is, and what you're saying is,
nah, this was the right thing to do to protect women's sports, to protect young girls and women, because this is going to be school age and through collegiate. You can't, even at a collegiate level.
There's no way.
Even at a collegiate level, these people are going to get hurt. Somebody else is going to get hurt. So shouts out, great job to the North Carolina legislature passing yesterday, the House passing the Fairness in Women's Sports Act. Big up to Dr. Kristen Baker, Representative Perret, and the others for going to bat for women and doing the right thing. Absolutely.
Well, we're not even going to do the commercial break. We're just going to rock out because while you're on this subject, right?
Okay.
I have to share this, right? I have to share this other deal right here. Okay. So because good point. And I think people are getting to the point where they've kind of had enough, right? So a trans female is nixed from competing as a woman in a semi-pro basketball league. So the person you see on the screen is a biological male that identifies as a female and submitted an application to become a basketball player.
As a female.
Okay. And has been rejected by Australia's WNBL. Okay. The number one semi-pro basketball team in Australia. The application was submitted by a biological man calling himself, which I love the writing on this, Lexi Rogers, who wanted to play for the Kilsyth Cobras in Kilsyth, Australia, a town in the western suburbs of Melbourne. How do you do it with the
Melbourne? I'm from Melbourne, mate.
Australian Melbourne.
Hey, I'm going over to Melbourne, mate.
I don't know if they put the born.
I don't know. That's not nice.
The request was denied by Basketball Australia, the governing body for the sport there. Okay, and that's a report from Fox News. It said Lexi Rogers is ineligible to participate in the women's NBL season, saying the panel's decision is based on a range of factors. How about the fact it's a whole boy? How about that?
That might have something to do with it.
That might have everything to do with it. Ma'am, sir, like, so now what do we do with that? What do you do with that? What do you do? Is that because if that's Lexi and I want to be respectful with Lexi, you can't play because so here's my thing. Is there even a line? Like, is there a way to, in your mind, Ali, is there a way to even entertain the idea? Like, okay, let's set some parameters. Let's say you go see the doctor, right? And you've been on, because I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You've been on hormone blockers for X amount of years. You've removed all of the junk that comes along, as much of the hardware as you can remove.
Wow.
You've removed as much hardware as you can remove. Is there at any point that will be okay with this?
No.
Because you're still what?
A dude.
You're just a dude with screwed up hormones.
I mean, okay.
And missing some bits and bobs. It's kind of what I'm just asking.
All right. So let me ask you a question. If a person is born without a hand, are they still a person?
Yes, sir.
Are they less of a male or a female because they don't have a hand?
No.
If a person waits until they're 18 and decides to surgically remove their own hands for some reason, does that make them less or more of a male or a female? Does that change anything at all?
No.
All right. That's all I was asking. That's all I got. That's all I got on that one.
Well, here's my issue with it, right?
I don't care which bits and bobs you remove.
If you
can't change who you are.
If you try really hard, there's no logical way to make it make sense. Because I'm trying to be as, I guess, caring is the word, and to be as understanding as possible. Like,
yeah, well, bro, there comes a point where we on the right, and I admittedly we're on the right. It's just we're not right of center. We're on the right. Okay,
yeah, clear.
Let's just be clear here. There is a distinction between recognizing that someone is having an experience, whether they believe they are happy in that experience of saying I'm a woman trapped in a man's body or vice versa, is not up for debate. For people, I've talked to people personally who have struggled with this thing. We're not saying that people don't get to exist in a space and have their own experience. What we're saying is you're not going to convince me. There's no convincing me. There's no convincing you or any other logical human being that a person that was born as a biological male can do anything ever to change that.
Excuse me? Okay, because according to my training, logic is a conception of the white Anglo-Saxon male power structure. It's part of the patriarchal structure. So therefore, we can't use logic, because logic is part of the white power structure,
You know something? This is something I wish I could do. I wish I always had a spoon with a dollop of whipped cream on it. Not a dollop of whipped cream, of sour cream on it. For when I have conversations with people on the left, so I could just flick them in the face with a spoonful of sour cream every time they say that. Just splat right across the face, bro. Like, come on, man.
My professor said that logic is part of the construct of the European patriarchal system. So we can't.
And we're speaking a language like you. We can't even have this dialogue because you're like speaking English, which is the white man's language.
This is what you got to deal with.
That's what you got to deal with.
We suggest logic and reason, and so we're saying there's no logical way. And if I'm extending my humanity to the extent of being understanding,
bro.
Go ahead.
Since you brought this up, have you heard about this so-called two-spirit?
Yo, you see what I'm saying? Like, how far are we going to take this?
Have gone so far as to try to say that indigenous American cultures recognize transgenderism by having something called the two-spirit. You're two-spirited. Ain't no such thing. Yo, matter of fact, do we take the quick commercial break or do we just go ahead and bust this narrative open while we got it for the last 5 minutes?
Just go ahead.
All right. So, around here, the urban and urban conservative stands for understanding reality beyond assumed narratives. And what we are going to talk about real quick is I want to share my screen. Go ahead and put my screen up, bro.
Hold on. I just got to bust y'all melon with this real quick. Hold on. Melon bust right there. Let me go ahead and bust y'all melon with that right there.
That's
y'all got to read carefully. Y'all got to read carefully. Two-Spirit is a modern pan-Indian umbrella term. New.
Ooh.
All right.
So
we're
much
gonna,
for
we're gonna,
that one.
yeah, so much for that. We're gonna stop that right there. Now go ahead. What are we doing?
Nah, so much for that. So much for that.
Yeah,
Now,
man.
what I want to show is I'm gonna pull up this tab on my screen. All right. Let's get here right. Here we go. So I'm gonna pull this up. Tell me if I need to make it bigger round. So I wanted to point out. There we go. I wanted to point this out. 2 days ago, this story came out. 20-year-old woman shot dead after mistakenly pulling into man's driveway. ABC News. New York man charged with the murder and shooting of a woman. CNN is who I wanted to point out too. Look at CNN's reporting of this. A 20-year-old woman was shot. BBC. Kaylin Gillis, she has a name. Details emerge in deadly shooting of woman. Kaylin Gillis, woman. Boyfriend of woman. Do y'all notice something? Now, let's switch over to this real quick. Let's share this instead. What's the immediate difference that you notice, Ra?
84-year child shooting a black, white, black.
Keep going. What else you got?
Black, white.
You got one.
Black.
I'll give NBC News here one. I'll give them credit.
Yeah,
they left race out of it.
Everybody else is black, white, black team, black.
So there's no way you're going to tell us that you can convince us that there is not purposeful racial narrative creation and the creation of racial tension by covering these stories this way. Both of the shootings were unfortunate. Both of them were unfortunate.
Yep.
Nobody deserves to be shot innocently. I'm with you all on that. But what our problem is, and what I'm pointing out, is that we catching you in real time, putting this narrative out there that it's a black versus white thing to try to stoke the racial tension. This lady got shot fatally, though. I don't know that the young man is dead. I don't know that this young guy is dead. But the fact of the matter is, because it doesn't say fatal shooting, so I think the kid lived.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, this is what they do to try to stoke racial tension. This is what they try to do to keep people, black people, minorities in this perpetual state of victimhood, making people feel like somebody's out to get you.
Yeah, but hold on. You have to couple that with this, right? The majority of a large portion of a certain group of black folks, young black folks, if you Google right now, right? If you open a YouTube tab and you look at what black media is calling journalism, they're just as complicit. So the problem is you have mainstream media here doing it. Then what happens is you have this group of dumbasses in what's called journalism, quote, air finger quote, journalism, that do nothing but promote gang violence, that do nothing but promote misogyny and drug use and all of the things that are destroying the community. That's what if you go over to any YouTube channel and you type in hip hop beef and you see what comes up in the timeline, it's going to be Troy Ave versus Mano, and this person got shot at Urban Plaza and this happened and this is, people are calling these people legends. These are the legends to the urban media space. These are the legends. These are the people, he's a real G because he did 30 years in the pen. And when he was in the streets, he was known to walk around with the chopper. So he's a legend in the street. Like, that's the most ridiculous ever. And this is what people are tuned into, unfortunately. So when we say, right, and I'm saying, when we reach out to some of these platforms and say, hey, y'all got decent sized platforms, do y'all want to insert voter information into your platform, a 7-8 second video, is how much money can they get? Which is, I understand it's capitalism, but you guys are promoting the negativity for free because they got a YouTube calculator, bro. And the YouTube calculator tell you how much you making off your YouTube channel. And I've done it. And if it's worth it to you to make $7,400 a year for YouTube to do all that work, hey, I can't knock your hustle. But Yeah, this is the narrative, and the urban media does a great job in reinforcing it.
Right.
And we're gonna have to stop that. We're gonna have to be the antithesis to that.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, which is why we appreciate you rocking with us each and every morning, 9 a.m. for Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. We hope to get you equipped and ready to rock out for your Thursday today. Make sure you give your legislators a call and thank them for protecting women's sports here in North Carolina. And we want to make sure that you are with us Monday night for the interview with Ken Fontenot,
Hey,
representative out of the
hey.
24th district. Yeah.
And make sure you call them. Even that, especially here in New York, call your representation and let them know what's going on, and you're not happy about it. So just definitely call them when they do something good. But right now here in New York, we need pressure.
That's what's up.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, you all have a positive, productive, and powerful Thursday. We will see you right back here tomorrow morning for Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. Peace.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.